our meeting to order.
Jenkins.
Here.
Harden.
Here.
Hahn.
Here.
McKinley.
Yes.
Earl. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First thing that we have on this evening's agenda is section 1, the consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second it.
Go ahead and call it.
Jenkins.
Yes.
Hahn.
Yes.
Harden.
Yes.
McKinley.
Yes.
Earl.
Yes.
Motion carried.
There being no unfinished business, we move to section 3, new business.
I make a motion to go into executive session, personnel, to discuss the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, and/or performance of specific employees pursuant to Section 2C1 of the Open Meetings Act, 5 ILCS 120/2C1.
Second.
And call it.
Hahn.
Yes.
Harden.
Yes.
McKinley.
Yes.
Earl.
Yes.
Jenkins.
Yes.
Motion
Now in open session. Continue on with new business.
Make a motion to approve ordinance 947, amending ordinance 504 pertaining to animals.
I'll second it.
Discussion.
What's it about? Why are we doing this?
This was at the, during the last council meeting. Was it the one that?
That's the last one. February.
Okay, that was the one in February. We had a citizen come up and requesting that the ordinance 947 be changed in such a way to be a little bit more animal friendly during extreme weather conditions. So what Larry and I believe you as well, we checked different communities on their different ordinances, and we kind of put together it just rehash the ordinance in such a way that deals with extreme temperatures and what have you.
Whose decision is it on that for the extreme temperatures?
It's a good point. What is it, you were saying? What is extreme weather conditions?
Exactly. We understand the cold, but
Heat.
you know the heat, but we always do love being outside. I think that needs to be
That needs to be addressed.
checked into, yes.
I don't have a problem with the 10 to 6, especially some of these dogs out there barking all night. That might help that out a little bit. But there needs to be a degree.
I would say B is that's a good point. What constitutes extreme weather condition?
And what's considered shelter? If you get a whole bunch of trees in your backyard, that's pretty good shelter.
Where are you talking about there?
Regardless of whether doghouse or similar shelter is
Okay.
provided.
Well, that's irrelevant because it says regardless of whether a doghouse or
True.
similar shelter is provided. So,
True.
mute point on that one, I think. Well, I mean, we can amend here, or we can send this one back to the drawing boards, but
Send it back.
send it back.
Mm-hmm.
Then
So do you want to vote it down or table?
I would,
Well, we want to vote it down so we come up with a new amendment.
yeah, I say we vote it down. Well, I mean, I would make the recommendation that we vote it down right now, and then we send this back to get a little bit more clarification of what is extreme weather conditions. Definitely a focus on the cold. But yeah, that's my suggestion. So, any other discussion? Call it?
McKinley.
No.
Earl.
No.
Jenkins.
No.
Hahn.
No.
Harden,
No.
motion carried.
Those will come back to us.
I'm sorry. Oh, yes.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2015-1, Tran donation for day trips.
I'll second that.
Discussion.
Same thing every year.
Yeah, it's, well,
It is the same thing. Last year they came in we went ahead and passed it with the, I guess the understanding that if Piatt County did not sign, they would return our check. So this is also dependent on Piatt County, so same thing. I do believe they are wanting to secure our check so that they can also go to Piatt County and tell them that we have bought into it. So it helps their argument.
yes.
Any discussion? Call it.
Pearl,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Harden,
Yes.
McKinley,
Yes.
motion carried.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2015-2, the annual Easter egg hunt donation.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
This is the same year also, isn't it?
No, this is the second, is it just the second year that we've sponsored it as a city? Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yes. And I believe it was the same amount last year too. So, the event's very successful. I mean, lots of kids in this community and outside as well too. Call it.
Jenkins,
Abstain.
Klein,
Yes.
Harden,
Yes.
McKinley,
Yes.
Pearl,
Yes.
motion carried.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2015-3, awarding 2015 mow season to Hammers Lawn Service.
I'll second.
Discussion. And you had the bids, if we could get those.
There's not, I mean, it's just one for you, yeah. Just a copy.
I did speak with Larry, and this group is the lowest of all the ones that we received. He made a point to say they were a lot lower than the other bids.
There was 4 total.
He didn't give me the actual number of how many there was, but yeah.
This is lower than last year. I think it was 550 last year.
This is what Larry
Same
recommends.
last year.
Yeah, he pointed out that this group had, there were several complaints against them during the process, stuff being left out, not being properly edged and what have you, and he said that we will have to make sure that we stay on them, but it was recognizably lower, and he did recommend this one.
There's one we've had in the past, it did an excellent job. I don't know what the bids were, but
So we got amount before May 15th and amount after May 15th. Is that right? Is what they're gonna charge us before May 15th and after May 15th?
You know,
yeah, the school takes care of it after a certain date in certain areas.
So we,
I.e. what, South Park?
Weedman Park,
Probably-
South Park.
Yeah. Weedman up around us when they use the
Both
softball.
parks.
yeah, those are the two.
Yeah, 3 and 4 are the ones that are different.
So we start mowing when, roughly? Did we talk about that?
I think the last year's contract said April 1st.
April 1st.
Unless needed, and it has to be okay by the city manager. March 1st, no, not March 1st, April 1st.
29 days. I think we're going, the snow won't be gone.
Mm.
Better have a blade on the front of that mouth.
Any discussion? Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
once again, this is a group we had trouble with at one time, keeping on them.
There were some complaints on this group.
You know, I think when we bid this out in the future, maybe not now, but to make sure in the bid, like for the cemetery, that has to be mowed before Memorial Day, before Labor Day, key times that people would go into the cemetery, definitely Memorial Day. I mean, it has to be a fresh cut.
In the contract.
Yeah. Because I'm not sure, it could have been last year, year before, it was a little ratty going down there. And I know weather plays a part in it, but
No,
still.
that, yeah, but that's the one day of the year
That's
that,
the
that,
Memorial Day.
yeah, it needs to
It
be
needs to be
done.
at its best. Memorial Day, Labor Day, Veterans Day.
No. Any other discussion? Call it.
Hahn? Hahn?
Yes.
Harden?
Yeah.
McKinley?
Yes.
Pearl?
Yes.
Jenkins?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2015-4, awarding the 2015 farm season to Walsh Farms.
I'll second it.
Discussion?
So the same amount as last year.
No, I think it's lower.
Well, last year
I
we had
believe
to
it
go,
was.
we had silent bid last year, if I remember right. So,
What did we bid?
275.
275 an acre.
I think I think it was like $295 last year.
I'm not too sure that it was. I'd say it's about 275 too. It's,
Remember what it was last year?
It was 290.
Well, last year it was $295.
Yes, it was.
All right. So it's even cheaper this year, and he was low bid.
How many bids did you get? Two?
Just two. The same two as last year.
Well, in this case, we're not taking the lowest bid, we're taking the highest bid.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This is, yeah, we're taking the highest bid on this one. So the other one was lower than this one?
Yes, sir.
Do we have to bid it? Can we just say, okay,
Well, you could enter into a multi-year contract if you wanted, but I
I'm
believe it's in the
not
best
I'm not
interest
talking
of
about
bid.
a multi-year contract, I'm talking about, you know, we don't, we'll pick the farmer that's gonna do it, you're gonna do it for this. Or we'll say, this is what, this, you got it, but here's what you're gonna, we're cash rated for this kind of money.
Yeah, but I think that farming's kind of volatile this year, from what I've been hearing from some people that own some land. The price for cash rent has gone down. That information's out there. It's pretty easy to get a hold of. If you check with the extension office of the U of I, they'll tell you that it has gone down some. So I don't know that you necessarily have to bid it to answer your question properly. It's the way it's been done ever since the city's had that parcel out there.
No, I know how it's
And
done.
historically, I believe that Walsh has had it every year.
Well, there's just, we own the property, we had to get it, and we only owned the property for what, 4 years?
Right, but there was, prior to that,
There was no prior to it, we didn't own it.
has it only been 4 years?
Prior to that, we didn't own it, so the landowner took care of that, however he wanted to.
That's correct, the Walsh farmed it then too, I believe. So I mean, there's a history that they've been there.
Wow.
Any other discussion on this?
I think in the future, you just ought to go and discuss this a little bit more before we get down to this and decide what we're gonna do later. You know, besides just, you know, you know, there needs to be a little more discussion. I mean, at the end of the season,
That'd be the time to do it, because he came in early this year, and I think that the city clerk was present. He said that he had already had to apply chemicals, and he had asked that if chemicals, if he was not the winning bid, if the city was going to reimburse him for the chemicals, and I didn't give him an answer. I didn't.
well, I think he would. I think if he did that and he felt that he was going to do it, I don't think there's any problem with us reimbursing for the chemicals on the property, I think that's the case. But I think we need to talk about this a little bit more at the end of this 2015 season and everything.
When is the end of the season?
Oh, 1st November, something like that.
November, depending on when they get in.
We put it on the
Roughly.
calendar.
Was that 20 acres?
Yes, sir.
What do we do with the money after we get it?
Goes in general fund. There's a line on the budget that shows it's in there.
You ever thought about earmarking it for something?
Yes, I have.
Let's think about that too. A little bit more.
Could discuss that sometime in the future too, if you'd
Mhm.
like.
That's right.
Very good, it's on the calendar to discuss. Any other discussion? Call it.
Harden,
Yes.
McKinley,
Yes.
Pearl,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
motion carries.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2015-5, authorizing city manager to enter into agreement with Go Graphics, Steve Woods, to design and paint mural on common wall located at 116 South Main Street.
Second.
Discussion.
Says right here.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're still doing this.
we were
Finished
in discussion with Steve Woods last year when he did the one down here on the Green Street Furniture Store building. And so Steve came up with several different designs, and we're not locked into a design, but we need to get locked in with him on a contract, because he has been hired to go up and down Route 66, and he's talked about this before. And if he gets locked in with us, then he'll do our mural before he starts in on that adventure. He says once he starts in on that adventure, we may not see him this year. There are some funds set aside that, or not necessarily set aside, that we could set aside and get him locked in on a contract. So there was a lot of talk about, doing that. It seemed like there was a lot of interest throughout the whole community to do something of that nature, and we would finally put that ugly wall to rest over there, so.
Sounds good.
Any other discussion? Call it.
McKinley,
Yes.
Pearl,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Harden,
Yes.
motion carries.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2015-6, approving Larry Willing as the Farmer City representative to Illinois Municipal Electrical Agency.
I'll second it.
Discussion.
Historically, Rick Hardesty has been your contact person, and IMEA called about a week ago, and they were having their budget meeting, a pretty big board meeting, and they wanted to know if Rick was going to be in attendance, realizing that Rick had retired. The contact person is set up through resolution. That is a draft resolution from IMEA. I went out and talked to Wally out the light plant, and Wally let me know that he's just got a multitude of things going on inside the power plant, and asked if I could do it until such time that he was ready. So if it's 4 months from now, we'll bring you another resolution and we'll change it again. But we need somebody in place, so if they call and they're going to have any type of a meeting, we can have some representation there. And Rick did say that he could have gone to the last one, and then Rick had an illness and he couldn't make it, so we didn't have representation.
Call it.
Pearl,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Harden,
Yes.
McKinley,
Yes.
motion carries.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2015-7, entering into an agreement for water cooling tower repairs to SPX Cooling Technologies.
Second.
Discussion.
This has kind of come up, and it is technically an emergency repair. The cooling towers are leaking out there. The guys went out and they had a salesman come by, and the salesman told them that he had a super duty chemical and he could treat it, and the towers were leaking. And I told Wally I really wasn't comfortable with that, because a salesman can tell you anything. They got a hold of BHMG. BHMG brought up a representative from Marley, the maker of the cooling towers. They went out there, and as they were standing there, they could literally take their fingers and flake the metal off of the walls of the cooling towers, creating more leaks in areas that has gotten that bad. Obviously, it's from the water being inside the cooling towers. So these are emergency repairs. The funds are available mainly because, if you remember correctly, a couple of months ago we had received that payback check from IMEA, which was $58,000, and so it will cover these expenses. They are scheduled to run in early May. If they can't make repairs and can't run, then we get penalized from IMEA. Now, don't know how much that penalty is, but if you throw the penalty on top of not getting the coolers fixed, it makes the cooler repair just that much more. So it is something that needs to be done.
Is this something we could wait to take bids from other companies, or something we need to get done?
This is something that needs to be done, Pat. And it has put the guys on edge out there. They're somewhat in panic mode. So
How old is that cooling tower?
20 years old.
I guess I have to ask why this doesn't come up before now.
Well, because this is our first council meeting, and I believe it started leaking up.
No, I'm talking about 2-3 years back. Why did this start coming up and being brought up that this cooling tower might be having trouble?
Oh, I couldn't answer your question.
I think that's something you need. Do we have somebody new at the power plant?
Do what?
Do we have somebody took Rick's place at the power plant?
Wally's in charge.
Wally's in charge. We haven't hired anybody yet.
We hired an operator,
Okay.
so there's 3 operators out there that would include Wally.
Well, I think this preventive maintenance need to be a little bit more on the ball with that. And, you know, when Rick was here, Rick probably should have been bringing this up to us. You know, you can foresee it coming and everything. I mean, it's not just all of a sudden it just happens, right? You can see it coming over a period of time.
Go ahead and call
Jenkins,
it. Yes.
Han,
Yes.
Harden,
Yes.
McKinley,
Yes.
Pearl,
Yes.
motion carried.
This brings us to section 4, city manager's report.
I only have 1 or 2 things, because I wasn't sure if I'd be here tonight. A very important thing, since this goes out on Facebook, is to people need to keep in mind that as the temperature is warm, we have a lot of people that over the course of the winter, they don't pay their utility bills, and they let them build and build and build, because they know that by state law we cannot disconnect it. But if the temperature reaches 32 for a 24-hour period, then by law we can disconnect. So people need to adhere to the warning that we do have to collect our fees for utility bills. So I hope that they listen to that. The street department guys have done a terrific job. We've had some snowstorms since we met last. Sounds like there's some ice coming tonight from what they're saying. So there's not a lot you can do for ice, lay down some salt, but they have done a terrific job. Water department, they've been out and they've been installing some radio read meters. They've got a water leak down here on Main Street they're going to tackle as soon as the weather gets decent. And the electric department has installed 50-some plus radio read meters in just a short period of time, so they're hitting them pretty hard too. So everybody's been staying busy. We're planning an after-hours open house March 19th if we can get City Hall completed in time by then. So you're all welcome to come up and take a grand tour of that.
Any questions to the city manager and his report? Said the 19th.
Yes, sir. Subject to change, of course.
Any non-agenda items in other business? I had one. We need to set up a Saturday city council meeting workshop, or whatever the legal. I think that there was some question about the terminology, but we do need to set up a meeting for Saturday to start going over items on the budget that the city council would like to, or at least put their word in. So is there a Saturday? That's February. I believe I'm good March 14th, 21st, and 28th. Don't know what you gentlemen.
No 14.
No 14, 21?
21's good.
Yep.
21, 8 a.m. 7 a.m.
Doesn't matter. Either one's fine.
We're up, 7 a.m.
8.
All right, 8.
Sounds good to me.
March 21st, 8 a.m.
8 o'clock.
I'll get the items for you. on that. So, any other non-agenda items in other business? We do have a public comment. Lance, you have the floor.
Hi guys, just in case anybody here doesn't know me, I think you all do, but I'm Wayne Speaker. I'm here on behalf of the Pharmacy Fair Association. I am the chairman of the Raceway Committee. We're anxiously getting ready for our new season this year. We have our 2015 schedule out, and it feels it's going to be the best year yet. It's been our third year. I think we finally got our feet under us and kinks worked out, and hopefully all the bad stuff in the past is in the past, and we're looking to really move forward. Economy, I think, is, can't say turned around, but it's looking better. But anyway, as we were getting ready for this season, we were approached by a few council members that were in favor of helping the raceway out this year. And since we bring a lot of revenue into town on a weekly basis, we couldn't agree more. We're a non-for-profit organization. I think most of you already know that. We're run 100% by volunteers. We are not paid for what we do, the countless hours that we put in, and we rely heavily on sponsors and donations. We've added a few new sponsors this year, and some of our returning ones are giving more this year. Again, I think it's because of they see the turnaround and that Farm City is back, not back, getting back to where it needs to be and where it once was. We would like to ask, we would like to see the city be one of these sponsors as well, being that the city, Farm City Raceway is Farmer City. We would like to see a little bit more support out of the city. We'll probably be back again later to talk about the whole firework deal. That's a whole separate issue from what I'm here for today. The more success we have, the more money is spent in town, in Farm City. That being said, the city of Farm City has been donating a large amount of money to an annual event in town that generates minimal dollars back into the community. So we're here to ask the city of Farm City to help sponsor the 5th annual Junior Criminal Memorial on July 22nd, which is Fair Week. It's a Wednesday of Fair Week this year instead of our normal Friday night. The reason for that is the Prairie Dirt Classic at Fairbury is Friday and Saturday. And again, the reason we're asking for this donation is we feel we raise the purse that night and get all of the big guys coming through and all the extra fans on their way there would stop here. Right now the purse, because of it being the Junior Criminal Memorial, K&S Furniture donates an extra amount to get it to $3,000. We would like to see it be a $5,000 purse to win for the late models and $1,500 for the modifieds. The whole idea is just to bring more people in town. And, more people here, the more money they spend here. That's, with Casey's coming in, they're a big sponsor this year. Huck's, with Casey's building a new one, is being a sponsor this year, so I think people are seeing, you know, they know what's bringing the money and they're helping us out. So, in closing, we can come back at any time, or can be reached at any time, you know, off the record or, you know, wherever. Come and meet, discuss any questions that you might have, so. that's-
When do you need sponsorship by?
Well, there's really not a deadline. The season starts at the end of this month, and our schedule is out, but we haven't printed the final schedule yet, and if you were to donate.
Particular race you're talking about
Yeah,
is in
if,
July.
if you were to donate to this race, it's not till July, but on the schedule, we would like to say the 5th Annual Junior King Memorial, sponsored by the city of Farm City. So,
Is there anything else that comes with sponsorship, like signs? And
we would add signage, that's another thing, and especially, again, with the firework deal, we haven't yet put up a sign. I think if we were to go into, with this, I would, you know, put the two together, put up a sign, you know, the city of Farm City, huge supporter of the Farm City Raceway. I think it's kind of a you know, partnership I'd really like to see. That would, in the past, you know, like Fairbury, the whole idea of this whole thing, their community is 100% behind them and always has been. We all know there's been some past here, but that's why we think we're getting this thing turned around, and I think this is really the right direction to go. And yeah, there'd be some signage of some sort up there, plus on the schedule and in the advertising, whenever we advertise with radio and newspaper and that, so.
This is a huge deal, could turn into a huge deal, because that particular date you're gonna have would be Farmer City, then you're gonna have 2 dates in Fairbury. What is it, a day or two before they're in Quincy?
Yeah, that's what, we originally were gonna go for Thursday night, but they're in Quincy Thursday night for 10,000 to win. So
Right.
it's being a Wednesday, that's why we're only going at the 5, but
This, and I'm sure, I don't know if the World Outlaws, if we got this going, and somehow the World Outlaws got involved in it, you could have a Quincy, Farmer City, Fairbury thing that goes this way across the state. The way it is now, they're going to be at Farmer City, going to have to go to Quincy, and then they're going to have to come back to Fairbury. I would like to see it. Of course, I don't know how much pull, but where you go Quincy, Farmer City, Fairbury, and those guys just follow the circuit. Just like Lance said, my son and I follow this. All it takes is a little money, and it doesn't take a lot of money, $5,000, along with the Prairie Dirt Classic that same week. We'll get the big name drivers here. It's not,
again, that 5 number seems to be the magic number.
it's the magic number.
The Line 100 coming up at the end of the month, that's actually not on us, that's a separate deal. 2 different promoters rent the track from us, that's another reason why we're not, you know, part of that, although that's probably the one that brings the most to this town. Other than Summer Nationals being in July,
Right.
that's probably the biggest one that's on us that we do. Baldwin Chevrolet is one helping us sponsor that one, and then we're starting a new one in Labor Day. So it's kind of, we're wanting to get these key races, and I think the other reason with the Junior Kimmler, not just that middle of the week, is he was a businessman here in town, and I think that the city, Farm City, along with K&S Furniture, those two kind of are a good match, in my opinion. So, that's,
And just to touch on what Lance said, when the big ones come to town, I mean, Emos does well, Casey's does well, Huck's does well. It's just, now, there's not a whole lot. Randy may get some benefit out of it, but as far as your antique shops and stuff like that, probably not going to help much there. But it's not unlikely to say we can have 3,000 or 4,000 people up there if we get the big boys showing up.
On a regular basis, it probably.
And this is what, the 5th year for this?
Very good. Any other questions? Mr.
So,
Speaker?
could I ask, so what is the amount that you're asking for?
3,000? Is that 3,000?
3,000.
3,000.
That's what I wrote down.
2 different, you got the late models and the modifieds.
2 for 1, 1 for 2.
And 1,000, 1,500 is what seems to bring the modifieds.
And you said a couple councilmen approached you on this? All right. Sandy, could you put forth the resolution to be put on the April 6th meeting and then we can discuss it at that time. Any other non-agenda, or no, wait, that's public comments. Entertain a motion to adjourn. Call it.
Harding,
Yes.
McKinley,
Yes.
Pearl,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Klein,
It's
motion carried.